Hello and welcome to this Forex Preview at xm.com. I'm Maria Bashkirtis and joining me is Senior Investment Analyst Rafi Boyajan. We'll be discussing U.S. personal income and consumption numbers and the outlook for the dollar. So Rafi, on Friday afternoon we'll get personal income and spending data out of the U.S. There have been some concerns that income and consumption growth are moderating. Is this something we should be worried about?
Well, there have been some signs that both incomes growth and consumption are slowing, perhaps at uncomfortable levels. Of course, we did see both incomes growth and consumption come off those peaks in 2018 when they were boosted by the Trump administration's tax cuts. So that moderation was to have been expected, but given that we're seeing weakness in other parts of the U.S. economy, mainly the manufacturing sector, which has been damaged by the ongoing trade war, that at current levels of consumption growth, it might not be enough to sustain a healthy growth level in the U.S. Economy. Now, we did see that phase one trade deal being announced that has yet to be signed, and even if it does, it might take some time to work its way through the economy in terms of helping the manufacturing sector recover. So perhaps there are some risks ahead. The Fed isn't really too concerned about it. They're confident that consumption will remain at a healthy level. For November, we are expecting on Friday personal income to rise by 0.3% and consumption by 0.4%, both of which are unlikely to raise much alarm.
I see. Now, we're also going to be getting the core PCE price index. What should we be watching out for there?
Well, the core PCE price index is the Fed's favorite measure of inflation, and it has been running below 2% for much of, throughout 2019. And the Fed recently has started to more clearly signal that they would be happy to let inflation rise above the target in order to offset having been below it for quite some time now. So although now we are getting some signs that perhaps inflationary pressures are starting to pick up somewhat in the U.S. We did see the consumer price index, that's the other key measure of inflation in the U.S., that rose to one-year high in November. So any upside surprises, if we were to see that on Friday in the core PCE price index, it's unlikely to have caused too much of a reaction in the markets. The core PCE price index currently stands at 1.6% and is forecast to stay there again in November.
Okay, so given all this, what's the outlook for the dollar?
Well, the US dollar has been rebounding from 5 months lows. We had, of course, the boost from the announcement of phase one trade deal, and we did see a series of positive data coming out of the US over the past week. So more positive numbers on Friday would definitely help the US dollar advance those gains. Going into 2020, much will depend, of course, on how soon that phase one deal gets signed and sealed. There's still some worries that it might still fall through, and of course what kind of recovery we start to see in other parts of the world, mainly in the Eurozone.
Rafi, thanks so much for joining me, and thanks for watching at xm.com.